One thing that people around the world have in common is the experience of going to school and then talking about it. But it might get a little tricky if I'm talking about it and I use words like scrape by and flunk and cram when I talk about my school experience. These might be words that you don't know. So today we're going to just talk through quite a few words about the places and people and other words associated with going to school. Are you ready? Hi, I'm Phil. Thanks for joining me today on this little trip to school. Of course, when we talk about school, we think about teachers and students. These are people that we know at school. But I want to list a couple other people that you might know, maybe know by other names. The leader of the school, the head of the school. I know a lot of schools here in Europe that call this the director of the school. The leader or director of the school in America is called a principal. The principal of the school. And I like the spelling of this because you also know the word principle as like some rule that you live by, something that you always do. That's a principle. But this person is the principal, P-A-L at the end. And you might know pal as another word for friend. Not everybody has this relationship with their principal at school, but remember that when you think of the leader of the school, he or she is your pal, your principal. Next is another person at the school that's very important who works at the school. It's the person that cleans and maintains the area. There are two different jobs. One would be a janitor and one is a custodian. The janitor, I would say, is more concerned with keeping the place clean, just cleaning it. Custodian is involved in maybe cleaning it and also maintaining it, changing light bulbs, making repairs on the building. But these are very important people in the school that you might not know. Now, you're a student, you have a test. Some tests are graded, right? In America, we say it's an A, B, C, D, or F. We skip E for some reason. But some tests, especially in university, are actually not graded in this way. They're actually just pass or fail. Pass or fail. If you pass it, of course, you do it well. It's done enough that you can continue on. It's good. If you fail, it's not good. You either have to do it again, or it means the end of your study or the end of it for this class for you. It's bad. Now there's another word that we often use in school. Instead of fail, it also starts with an F, and it's flunk. I flunked my test, or I failed my test. Or you can even say, unfortunately, I flunked out of geometry class. I flunked out of my English class. That means you had so many fails in that class that you are flunked out of it. You can't take that class anymore this time. You'll have to wait again until next year and take that entire class again. You flunked out. Now let's add some nuance to your testing ability, right? We have pass or we have fail. But there's also the possibility that you did very badly on the test. Like you know you did very badly, but somehow you didn't fail the test. So according to American standards, we have A, B, C, D, F. You didn't get an F, but you just barely got a D, like the next thing up. You could say you scraped by. You just scraped by. You almost failed, but you didn't quite. Now on the opposite end of this, we have I passed with flying colors. I passed with flying colors. This means that you passed so well. The test was not difficult for you and you got an A+. It was great. You passed with flying colors. But there are always tests that are difficult, right? And we don't think we'll ever be able to study enough to do well on this test. So we have to stuff a bunch of information in our head really quickly. For example, the test is tomorrow, and you know you have a lot of information to put in your head before tomorrow. So tonight, what you'll do is you'll go home and you'll cram for the test. You'll cram for the test. Have you ever been in a crammed bus or in a crammed space where there's just a lot of people, everybody's crowded together and they cram the people in together? Well, this is the same thing that we're talking about with your mind. You cram the information in. So we say the night before the test, we stayed up all night and we crammed for this test. Okay, enough of that tough stuff. Schools around the world take breaks, right? Sometimes we call it a break or a pause, but in America, we call it something different, especially the breaks that we have in elementary school when we're children. And usually these breaks involve going outside to a playground to get out your energy and to play and enjoy yourself. This is recess. Do you know recess? Recess is a great time. Every kid loves it. Many teachers love it too, where the kids go out and they have 20 or 25 minutes to just run and play and get their energy out before going back in from recess. If you know anything about law or you watch TV shows, you might have heard this in a courtroom. The judge in a court case will also declare a recess in the middle of a case. That means a break in the case. The lawyers stop, everybody stops, everybody leaves the courtroom, and you take a recess. Maybe it's for a couple hours, and maybe it's overnight. And this recess is a break. Unfortunately, the courtroom people don't get to go outside and play on a playground. That's only for kids at school. A couple places you might not know about. What is the place that you play basketball in? Some kids will have a recess at this place. It's a big room for basketball. Gymnasium, right? The gymnasium. Obviously, we just shorten this often to gym. I'm going to the gym. Many gyms in schools are actually multi-purpose rooms. Multi-purpose rooms. This is a really important and popular word, especially in America. In a place where there are a lot of different uses for a room. So the place that might be the gymnasium during physical education class might also be a cafeteria during lunch, and might also be the place where children do a kids' choir competition. A couple more words that are important are words like period and class. So period, if we're in American school systems, we will say we have first period, second period, third period, fourth period. These are the times of the classes. And what do you have first in the morning? That's your first period, then second period. And then we go into the classroom. But class could be the space. It could be my class, my algebra class. That could be the physical space. And that could be also the people in my class, the people in my algebra class. But I can also use class as the group of people that I go through school with. And so I could say at the end of my schooling career, this is my graduating class. These are the people that I graduated with. If you're at a really small school, maybe it's 20, 30, 40 people. If you're at a bigger school, it's hundreds of people in your graduating class. So the word grade is also a little tricky. We can use the word grade in a couple of ways. First, we get grades on our homework, and then we get grades for each class. That's A, B, C, D, and F. These are your grades. It's how the teacher judges your work in the class. But in the United States, we also use grade for the level of schooling that we're in. So when you're about 6 years old or so, you're in first grade, then second grade, then third grade, then fourth grade, all the way up to 12th grade. Thanks for coming to school with me today. I hope this has been fun. I like to talk about schools and the differences with schools all around the world. If you've got some comments about what schooling is like in the country where you live or where you grew up, please let me know. I'd love to chat with you about it. I hope this has been helpful and hopeful for you in your English journey. Have a good one.